Okay guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of choosing your software for your audio projects, your music projects. We're gonna wrap it up from last week, so let's get started. Now, a lot of people seem to like Logic. My experience with Logic has been that if you are sort of a producer, like if you're more into producing and coming up with ideas, Logic is definitely a good place to kind of play around with your production ideas. Also, if you are not really that music savvy, like if you just starting and you don't really have much musical knowledge or of theory, or if you don't play instruments, Logic is very accessible. So I think that's definitely one of the strengths of Logic. If you are looking into kind of do production or more of like audio discovery, like a lot of people have an easier time with Logic. The way that Apple has it is kind of, it easily transfers from GarageBand, and it's sort of an expansion, like a professional expansion of GarageBand, the way that they set up the interface. So it makes it easier for a lot of people to transition into using sort of professional tools with a software that is a little more accessible. Also, Logic gives you a lot of pre-made loops, and it has a big library of pre-made things for you. If you already have musical knowledge, if you already have production knowledge, it can be an advantage because it helps you put ideas together and kind of put them together real quick, and then you can execute them. If you just are kind of lazy, it can actually feed your laziness. You're not learning as much because there are a lot of pre-made things for you. But again, it depends on what you want to do. If you are not necessarily a musician, if you just need like stuff for your videos or something, it might be definitely the answer. Another great strength of Logic is that it has really great emulators, which means the software imitates real gear very well. If you don't have the money to buy a really good compressor, like an actual piece of gear, like a compressor, an equalizer, or things like that, Logic is definitely something that you should look into. And then finally, I want to talk about Ableton Live. Now, Ableton Live, in my experience, has been really good, especially for me, because Ableton Live has recording capabilities. It's very good for songwriting. I really like it for songwriting. It makes the process of songwriting very easy for me, and also it's used in live performances. So I have the three realms of live performance, recording and songwriting kind of covered with that software. It's not a cheap software, but it's good. It's really good and really compatible and really good for mapping devices to it, especially because it was made for live performance mostly. So I really love it. For me as a songwriter, I've seen that that's kind of like the most compatible software. And again, I should say that for Ableton, you do also need to be kind of a little techy and savvy. The good thing about Ableton is that it has a really big kind of community online that gives you really good tutorials, and just a lot of people use it, for especially performers. So I find a lot of support online for it. So again, just to summarize, Pro Tools is better, I feel, better for recording and post-production. Logic is really good, like if you want to produce or maybe do some processing. And then to me, Ableton's strength is just kind of the flexibility of, especially for performance and songwriting, and then I can still do recording. Now, let me know if you have more questions about the software, or if you have your favorite software that you want to use, and just kind of comment on some of the strengths and weaknesses you've noticed. What I'm telling you, what I'm sharing with you is just my personal experience. I'm not saying that one is necessarily better than the other. It all depends on what you want to do and what your experience has been. So feel free to comment below. So that's everything I have for you today, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you like what you see. Also, you can check out my website, leoaether.com. It will come out at the end of this video. Check out my website for upcoming shows, projects, my new albums coming up, my new music videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope to see you in the next Tip Tuesday. See ya!